I'm gonna look at the credits and F8 so we can talk about it some more. 12:30. Wow. Hello? You hear me? Oh, RTC connecting. I can't talk to my friends. Oh. TC connecting. What the hell? Oh, I guess I'll just wait for Discord to work. Let's check Twitter. Maybe Discord
is. He's yawning and saying Discord isn't working. Oh, I think he's
oh,
back now.
Yeah, Discord's working.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was asking, thoughts. What's your verdict here?
Yeah, I'm still streaming. I turned it back on. I think I lost internet for a split second and I made Discord shit its pants.
Yeah.
Took a shit. Took a shit.
1.011 English.
What it is. Why is it playing Funky Town? It's 8 for PC. Oh, it's super loud because I restarted the game. Well, Finley, what did you think of Final Fantasy VIII?
Well, Garden, you're gonna hate me again, but I hated it.
No, I liked it a lot. You know, a lot of people say it's bad. I really enjoyed it.
No. Jay, shut up.
Mike?
Final Fantasy VIII.
9 a little bit more. I do not hate 8 at all. I still think it's a very good game.
Oh no, we're joking. We're just doing Red Letter Media.
I'm being ironic right now. We're doing the Red Letter Media.
We're just we're
Like,
imitating Red Letter Media.
I think 9's the overall better game, but it has a terrible main character.
I hate the art style. I can't even. I don't
like the art style. I just don't think Dane is a very good main character.
Hate that art.
Oh,
I'm probably,
no,
after I finish 10, I'm probably gonna end up playing 9 because
you want to play 9?
Else wants to do it.
Everybody looks like bobbleheads. Why don't you play Xenogears
about the
first?
story. It's only, look. I played 10 and I hated the gameplay, and you say that 9 has the best gameplay.
I could always replay Xenogears, but I feel like I'd rather just play Xenoblade if I'm gonna play a Xeno game again, because I've played Xenogears 3 times.
Really, why do you play Chrono Trigger for us?
Something to you.
Yeah.
I am a fan of like Dark Souls and Monster Hunter and Bloodborne. It's like those games have. I love games that have no story and don't make any sense and are stupid. I love that. As long as they have good gameplay.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, 9 definitely plays the best out of 8, 9, and 10.
Okay,
I even like a lot of the plot of 9. I just don't like the main character.
I don't like any of 9. I don't like all of that, like, super fantasy.
You guys want to see the dancing scene again? I'm doing that again.
Oh, there's the most handsome guy at the. Let me find that fucking.
Why? Because he's all pixely.
Yeah, and somebody like redrew him as like the pixel. Let me see.
Like missing no.
Yeah, let me.
Yo. Anybody watching this? The PS1 version has lots of pixels, no anti-aliasing, but this mod fixes that. For the PC version, I guess. What, Finley?
You want me to read someone's like rough translation of the Japanese of like Ultimisia's dialogue?
Sure.
I need to find some.
Why is it different?
I wanted to know what they do with what that K accent is in Japanese.
I'm trying to figure that out.
It's probably like maybe they made her like hiss a lot or something.
It might just be. That might just be. She might just be using like a improper, sound, like improper usage of certain grammar words in the language, like.
Oh, like sweet dance.
Yeah, I put it in the chat.
She might be using like a rougher, she might be using like a wah instead of a ga or something like that.
Okay, you want to see the epic dance again?
It could be something like that. Just be like less soft with the language. She says like in the Japanese, it's something like she goes, "The seed. It displeases me. Why do you interfere with the sorceress? Why do you interfere with sorceresses? Why won't you let me be free? In just a little longer, my perfect world of time compression would have been completed. I won't allow you to interfere. Your very existences shall be absorbed by the algorithm of time compression. You'll feel agony as your thoughts are ripped apart and all your memories fade away to nothing. There won't be a thing you can do, think, or even feel. That's the world I'm going to send to you. There'll be absolutely nothing you can... No, you'll be able to worship me, the sole existence for all eternity. So who will come first? Will you fight me? It matters not. The end will be the same. I will choose.
Very good.
It's the same thing, basically. I'm trying to figure out...
Uh-oh.
In the Japanese, she says, instead of the most powerful GF, you shall suffer. She says, I will summon the one you believe is most powerful. The stronger you believe he is, the stronger he becomes. That will surely make you suffer. Mwahaha.
Outfits on the other background characters are also like really well done. It's like so cool. I think our dress a little too short. Like,
You're a slut.
Just a slut.
Squall is slut maker.
See, look at the other dresses. They're nice and long. I think she a slut.
Okay.
Hey girl, did you know we're gonna be in space up there like that fireworks someday, fighting a big witch?
Did we already talk about how,
Femcell.
Cell approaches,
No,
not
I was talking
informal way.
about how, and, my, like, stupid Discord name is a reference to it. The fact that, like, when Squall says whatever in English, he's often, like, saying some other thing in Japanese.
Is it like the JoJo thing where he goes Yari Yari does it?
No, in English, it's usually a lot of stuff is translated as whatever. Like, he'll say... like,
what's that? It
I
can't
think
be
someone
helped
asked him,
thing. The Do Shiganai, whatever the fuck it is. What's that? It can't be helped. Do shit.
I don't know if it can't be helped, but there'll be like a moment where they're like, "Oh, do you remember that girl's name from back then?" And he'll be like, you know, "Do demo ii," like it doesn't matter. What does it matter? And that's translated as whatever, and that's pretty literal. But the most common one is what is it? Waru katana, which is the Discord name I have right now, which means like, it's like a sarcastic, like, well, excuse me, or something. It's basically like, well, excuse me, princess, like almost like that. It's fucking stupid. It's like, what would it? I'm trying to think of a good translation. What would it be like? Well, sorry about that, or something like that.
Huh.
Like, so when she's like, someone will like remember when Renoa's on his lap in the spaceship, and she's like, "Oh, I love you, Squall," and he's translated as like whatever, and they both say it at the same time. Like what he's saying like well, excuse me, or sorry about that. Well,
Maybe he's not being sarcastic. Maybe he's being autistic.
he is sort of both. He's like being dismissive, which is why, I mean, whatever is an okay translation.
Yeah.
But it makes him seem more like a stupid teenager rather than like someone who's trying to like sometimes he'll say whatever and he's really saying like when he's thinking and he thinks whatever, he's more like thinking like leave me alone or get off my case, something like that. Or what does it matter?
Stop busting my balls. Stop boosting my balls.
That's fine. I think people make too much of a... Because I read about it, people make too much of a big deal.
Was it essentially the same thing? Or is whatever like a really bad translation?
Yeah, it is essentially the same thing, but
it's not that he's uncaring, he just wants to not talk about it, right?
Yes, but in English, when he says the exact same, like, whatever, he says that the exact same thing over and over and over again. It makes him seem more like, I don't know,
Mimi?
like an edgy teenager or something, like an angsty teenager,
Yeah.
I guess, or something.
Yeah.
Well, you being an autistic person, you say whatever a lot when you're just like annoyed with people.
Well, I don't have the breadth of little polite, sarcastic little things to say in English. Bucko.
Okay, faggot. Oh, can I say that on Twitch? Shit.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Nobody cares.
Powercake's favorite game of all time. Okay, it's not my favorite game of all time. It was my favorite Final Fantasy.
What's your favorite game of all time then?
I don't know. Maybe like Mother 3 or.
Or it's not Final Fantasy 14. How much you play that?
Yeah, well, that's a very good game. That's up there.
10 billion hours in it.
You can explore the garden.
I think Undertale is up there. Rhythm Heaven for fucking Wii is unironically one of my favorite games. Okay, Mother 3 might be my favorite one.
Mother 3 is up there for me. I don't know. Xenogears. I mean, I feel like I can only rank games in terms of genres though, because I like both La Mulanas a ton, and like a lot of Metroidvanias, and I can't compare those to RPGs.
Yeah, all of my top games are gonna probably be RPGs. I mean, Smash Brothers Ultimate. Smash Ultimate is probably definitely up there too.
Okay.
I think that's fine.
I've already said that. I don't know. My favorite game changes every few years, I guess, but I think it's still Generations Ultimate for the Switch and stuff. But
I think mine's still
I tried
Diablo.
to play Monster Hunter for the first time a few weeks ago with the demo to Sunbreak, and I just couldn't get into it. That's probably just because I'm so stuck in the Souls mindset that I couldn't get the combat, and I'm sure if I spent a lot of time grinding it, it would be better.
There was some like really funny clip of some Toast guy or something like that. He was like a Dark Souls like speedrunner trying to play some. He was trying to play the. He was trying to play Rise, I think, just base Rise, and he like died to like a low rank like Kezu or something.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, that became like a big fortune.
At the same time, I also kind of think like even if the mechanics were exactly like Dark Souls, I don't know how much I would like a game that's dedicated toward repeatedly grinding with that kind of combat.
No, it would suck if it was like Dark Souls, because like Dark Souls wouldn't work if you.
The worst parts of Souls games, like some of the DLCs, are like parts where you actually have to grind if you want to stand a chance against things. So there's not that many moments in the games that are like that, and when that happens, it's the worst moments in the series.
Well, because Dark Souls is like, okay, every time you fight you go through these levels where you fight these enemies, and it's really brutal, and it's a big slog, and then you get to the boss, and the boss does a bunch of stuff that you have to figure him out. Each boss is like a completely new thing you have to figure out.
Yeah, some parts of 2 get to the point where it actually feels necessary to grind. I'm thinking of like Shrine of Amana and a few other places. But
Monster Hunter's basically Monster Hunter is like you're fighting the same monsters throughout the whole game, but they just get more and more difficult. So it's basically the whole game is teaching you how to tackle each monster. You're gradually learning all of the moves and all the timing of everything. Like, as you play the game, you're fighting the same bosses again and again and again, but it keeps it interesting because you keep learning more, and they keep getting tougher, and they get new moves, and they do, like, different things, and they get faster and stuff. So it's like... And it depends if you change weapons or whatever, you know. You learn your weapon, you learn the monster. It's basically a game about learning, is what Monster Hunter is. It's like a big, long game about learning your own weapon and learning how what your enemy is going to do.
The ones I did in the demo, I used Insect Glaive, which is apparently way too complicated for a first-time player.
Yeah, I wouldn't use that.
I was like, oh, I like pole arms, so let me pick this. And then the second time, which I did a lot better with, was the Twin Blades.
I wouldn't use either of those. They're too stupid. I would use like Switch Axe or Great Sword or Sword and Shield or Bow Gun if you want to use a ranged weapon. Those are the most like beginner friendly stuff. Or you play Hunting Horn. That's really easy. Or Hammer. It's easy too. Or gun lances and lance are okay too. Well, gun lance is a bit more complicated.
I'm just trying to beat all 12 levels of this stupid gun chest game before I play anything else. The furthest I've gotten is 9.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think we trailed off or something, but I was gonna say that Sunbreak is like competing with Generations Ultimate to be my favorite like Monster Hunter game. It's like really good.
So you like Sunbreak does? It's not as baby as
Generations Ultimate the one that's only on Wii U?
No, Generations Ultimate originally came out. Well, Generations originally came out on the 3DS, I think.
Yeah.
They had the G expansion on the 3DS, and then it came out for Switch. It's usually like on the store for like $12 or $16 or something. Like it's usually on sale in the Switch store.
Yeah, it's because he bought it and fought a like trash mob and then said he beat the game because he killed the monster and then he never played it again.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like, it just really irritates me.
Oh, it's Martinez.
What was his name actually?
Nita.
Cool.
Nita. Just call him Martinez.
Yeah, I think it might be just the build that I have. I have like this really specific Switch Axe build that uses redirection and the elemental burst counter together, and it's like the most intense. It's like it's just your like when I was fighting like the Gold Raytheon fight for the first time, it was like the most intense, like incredible. It was like the most fun I've had with Monster Hunter in like a year. It's like amazing.
Damn.
It's so like fast and it's so like makes you feel so cool, like flipping around and getting all the perfect time countered stuff. I guess it's just because Raytheon is more predictable than most monsters, but
Raytheon, like the company, makes missiles.
No. Well, I get maybe that's why they get the name, but
No,
I don't think so.
Not.
In English, it's different in Japanese, but maybe.
The epic
Raytheon's
battle.
super predictable. It's like the Gold Raytheon in this game moves so fucking fast and just is constantly like whipping its tail around and shooting fireballs and stuff, diving out of the air. It's like awesome. I think it's just because I don't know if this Keg isn't playing Sunbreak very much, so he doesn't know what I'm talking about. But you gotta get the redirect skill. Even on Gunlance, it's really good. In fact, I have a Gunlance build that uses that skill.
I gotta like relearn everything and get new armor and it's just
What?
It's a lot.
It's easy. You can use your high rank if you have good high rank armor.
Oh, where is it?
From the base game, you can use that to like 3 or 4 star in master rank.
Oh,
That's
it's
what I
in
did.
Gold.
I didn't even build a master rank armor set till I got to like 5. Till I wanted to basically.
What are you doing, Garden? What are you trying to find?
So many cool
Clip
skills
scenes.
like this.
It's the garden battle again.
Oh.
So fucking awesome. The whole switch skill swapping thing seems like retarded and stupid, and I thought it was really dumb when it came out, but it's the coolest thing ever when you know how to use it.
Yeah, I messed around. I mean, I did mess around with the game for a little bit. I'm trying to figure out a way to get the stupid shit off your fucking screen.
What stuff? Oh, you mean just the wire bug stuff at the bottom?
The switch skill little prompt. It takes up so much fucking space.
I don't know if I've had a problem with that.
Yeah, we're gonna have epic battle.
I think it does a thing where there's probably something in options, but I think it just shows what silk binds you.
I would totally watch you play La Mulana and actually shut up with the spoilers, but I'd imagine that would probably piss off a lot of people in chat.
What, watching me just get lost and stumble for hours?
Somebody type out Austin Powers as autism power.
Where?
On Twitter, Yakko
Oh.
did. He's trying to talk about Austin Powers like cover, and he accidentally put
It's because he probably says the word autism so often that his phone auto-completed.
Yeah, it's like this Stone Cold Steve autism.
Yeah.
Smoke a cigarette.
Autism, Texas.
Mix-a-Lot theme. The soundtrack? I don't think the soundtrack was very memorable. The Blonde Garden theme is awesome.
The default boss music is one of the best.
Yeah, the default boss music is probably the best boss theme ever.
I really like Man with the Machine Gun, Laguna's battle theme.
I feel like that sounds like a Street Fighter 2 song. I don't really like it. Oh wait, I think I'm supposed to stay there. Shit. Yeah, the witch boss thing was cool. And the other music I remember is the Amogus theme. This theme in the Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Ultimatia's Castle.
Oh, I can't go back up. Oh, where do I go?
Oh yeah, that's why I don't have the stream on, because I hear myself.
Oh. You hear yourself? Oh, on Twitch? I'm streaming on Discord. Oh, I forgot. I don't get to see the cool FMV.
I do think 8 has one of the weakest world map themes.
Yeah, it fucking sucks.
9's is one of the best.
All right.
Tied with 6, I think.
Where did Powder Keg go? Should I wait and stream more of our thoughts about 8, or should I just end it? What do you think, Finland?
Oh, are we still streaming?
Yeah, should I just end it?
What do you think you're gonna do next?
I don't know.
Yeah, what's next for Garden?
I wanted to play 6, 7, and 8, and I played 6, 7, and 8. I don't really feel any desire to play any other ones.
Well, someone's got to play 4. Or I guess
4?
Powder Keg already did that.
I played a little bit of 4
Or any other
back
good
in the
ones?
day. I kind of.
If I did 4 again, I would have to do the free enterprise randomizer, because I've never tried any of those, and I like those kind of ROM hacks for Pokemon. Though I don't know for Final Fantasy, just because of how much more plot driven they are.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. You can play 9 if you want and save me the fucking hassle of that. Like, I don't know. Playing like because I've only played 10. I'm almost done with 10. He's gonna put water on it. He's gonna put water on it. He blocked it. Yeah, 10 has been a slog. So hopefully 9 will be better if I do end up playing 9.
Maybe I could find some goofy way to stream you beating 10. That'd be pretty fun.
Stream what?
He's at the very end of 10, but he doesn't have a.
Well, the thing is, I've been playing 10, but I don't have a gaming PC, and I don't have anything.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I literally have no computer that could play even a game.
I could stream your Twitch stream, but there would be delay. But that might not be that bad. I don't know.
Yeah, we've just been watching.
I don't want to watch that because I still have to finish 10 myself.
Okay, do you think I should stream us discussing what we thought of 8 a little bit more, or should I just end it?
Sure. I mean, that's what I asked.
Let's talk about
Now,
it.
now do you?
At what the witch?
Now is this?
Saying you.
Powdercake really likes really goofy plot elements. Do you like?
That's
is this
not true?
No, you were saying you love goofy Nomura time bullshit.
It's not goofy. It's just weird.
Okay, well, whatever. But is that mainly why this is your favorite game? Because of the time shit?
Yeah, and because the characters are cool, and your party walks around with you, and yeah, it's very Nomura-y. The characters cool, the backgrounds are cool, the locations are cool. Music's pretty good. Kind of a okay in terms of Final Fantasy soundtracks, but I mean it's still a Final Fantasy soundtrack, so it's really good.
Yeah, it's good. I do think it's actually I don't know. I thought 6 was kind of weak too. 7 is just unbeatable.
You know what? I hate it. Like 9's is really good.
Yeah.
It's just I hate the game and the world and the characters and the story and everything.
Soundtrack?
Yeah, 9 has a cool soundtrack. 9's
Okay.
overworld is like my favorite overworld theme.
I can stream 9, I guess, eventually.
Yeah, I am. I mean, if you wanna bite that bullet and take that hit.
How is it taking a hit? If you said the gameplay is good, I don't care if the story
I know, you
is
don't care about the story.
I'm surprised you don't like stories.
10 was a fucking bullet.
I like the story of 9. I just don't like Zidane and the female characters parts of the story that much, which is I feel like they're not very good main characters.
They all suck. I mean, like there's some fun stuff with like Steiner and Beatrix, and that's about it.
I just want to warn you, Finley. 9 is the official Justin RPG game.
Is it really?
Right.
Yeah, you were saying he had a poster of 9 in his room.
You go inside a stomach of a monster.
I thought 4 was the Justin RPG because his pretend
Rydia?
wife is Rydia. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Is there a poster of 9? Let me look up pictures of Justin RPG.
Yeah, what is wrong with Final Fantasy fans?
I know that there's a poster. Okay. I know there's a poster of fucking a hamburger in his room.
Yeah, that was funny.
Justin RPG?
Like yeah, because that's like the best picture.
What are the pictures he had a 9 poster?
I'm trying.
I do recommend Dayton Kaitos at some point.
Oh yeah, I keep hearing that's a really cool game. Did I watch the video of the combat or the gameplay? And I thought it looked really slow.
If you like card games.
Oh yeah, it's got the card shit.
Arden didn't like the fact that all the characters have wings when I told him about it.
Oh yeah, I thought that was goofy. Maybe it has a place. I don't know. I like games with a really, really good story. That's my favorite part.
If you want a game with just a really good story, definitely Xenogears. It suffers from gameplay budget cuts on the second disc, but the story is so good I don't care.
7?
You have to be that kind of person.
FF7 had amazing characters, amazing story, and amazing themes. 6 had shitty story, amazing themes, and amazing characters.
I love 6's story. I don't know what your issue is with 6's story.
I don't know. Well, maybe it's just because it's just like an old game. It's just like basic. I don't know. I guess it wasn't.
I don't know. I think 6 is the first Final Fantasy that started to not just be regular medieval fantasy because it had like the steampunk elements and all that stuff.
Yeah. But I think well, I mean, themes are kind of interwoven with story, but I'd say the themes of 6 were like the really cool part. The stuff they focused on.
Yeah.
But the actual events and the goofy stuff, I don't know. I really hate I hate summons. I hate GFs. I hate.
Xenogears has no summons.
What's this? What are the things in 6 called again? Espers. I hate espers.
Espers, eidolons. Yeah.
Xenogears has no summons.
Yeah.
It has mechs.
I'm trying to think where 8 fits. 8, the story was. It was pretty damn good. The theme. I think the themes was the weak part of 8. Maybe it's just talking about regret and lost time and.
It's a
fear
very
and loneliness.
Yeah, no, like see to me because I'm more of like an artsy.
The last JRPG I completed was Live Alive, which is I really like the Live Alive remake. I know people are complaining about the translation.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it at some point.
But 8, the characters were pretty good. I'm trying to think of I guess I don't really want to compare them all. They're all kind of unique. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, honestly, I think the only thing that suffers in 8 is that the music isn't as good as like 7 and 9.
I think the draw system gets pretty frustrating. It's cool for a while, and then it just gets tedious. You have to spend so long in battles.
Yeah.
Well, it had a really bad like self difficulty thing, where I ran away from most of the battles in the game and I ended up being really OP.
Yeah, everything about character progression in terms of battle sucks in 8.
If I want to make 8 hard, I gotta never play cards, and I gotta not do side quests, and I gotta not farm. Then it'll be hard.
Yeah.
But that's autistic, I guess.
I know. I was thinking about this. I've been trying to research this. I've been trying to look up the original Japanese language lines for Ultimecia when she's using the K instead of the C's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there. I think that is not in the Japanese.
It's just some weird thing that they put in.
I think it's just a localization thing where they try to make her sound more evil. In English,
like the clan.
She doesn't use that. I noticed that she doesn't use that later in the fight when she says like junction and other stuff. Later in the fight, she doesn't use the K's anymore. So I guess she was just trying to be scary.
Yeah, she was trying to, like the clan. Yeah.
That's, I think, how the ending could have been a little bit more interesting, is if Ultimecia was like a character and not just like a plot tool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thor's world theme is great too, and I want to agree with him and interact with our chat because we're live streaming. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, sorry.
I think that like that version, the version in Pixel Remaster is really good because it still kind of retains like that kind of 90s composition. So yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought there was gonna be some twist where Renoa gets turned into Ultimecia or something.
I mean, that's like the fan theory.
You could
know?
say that.
No, I mean, I thought like something in the game was actually gonna be like a huge twist. There wasn't really any twists.
Well, you could say that. I mean, I'm sure Finley's going to say that Ultimecia is kind of like a cautionary tale of what Renoa could be.
I guess, but
it's definitely what she's supposed to represent, 100%, which is better than her literally becoming Renoa. That's kind of ham-fisted.
You know, it's weird that so many retards think in 7 that humanity got wiped out in the ending cutscene when 8 did the same like bait and switch thing.
The reason people think humanity got wiped out in 7 is because the post-credits cutscene had Midgar in like ruins and like Red 13 and his babies showing up.
Yeah, but they're clearly doing the laughing stuff and the we won stuff.
Does Red 13 like be like nursing a litter or something? What are you talking about?
And if they didn't show Squall at the very end of this game, I was gonna be really fun to think about, like, oh, is he dead? Is he not dead? Wow, what would be more interesting? What would be cooler? But then they just clearly showed him, so it's like, okay, he's alive.
Yeah.
Like when you said 7, like the laughter at the end, it's maybe less clear, but it's still pretty clear that humanity survived. I don't know.
I mean, there's really no reason for anyone to, like, maybe in 1997, if people thought that would have been fine. But I mean, like, we have Advent Children and like Dirge of Cerberus now.
No. I'm gonna ignore that. I'm gonna consider those non-canon.
Well,
but
no,
I was
absolutely canon, and they're fucking cool. Like, you can fucking eat my shit out of my butthole.
I'm not gonna eat your
Final
shit out of your butthole.
X.
But
Final Fantasy X-2 is canon, and the novel.
No, hold on. Because even though I don't like 10-2, I will consider it canon. The novel, even though it's written by the guy and is canon, I think is gonna be retconned later. It is so stupid, though. The Final Fantasy like 10-3 novel is so stupid. It's so dumb. I hate it so much.
Yeah, so what happens again? Tidus kicks a bomb thinking it's a soccer ball.
Okay, there's a scene where Tidus sees a bomb and he thinks it's a blitz ball. So he runs up to it and kicks it and explodes, and his head somehow pops off his body in the explosion.
This reminds me of there's this
Hold on, he's saying it.
Takes place between parts 7 and 8, which is weird as shit.
Let him finish it.
Hold on, let's talk about the autism.
and
What
his
happened
head
next?
it explodes and his head pops off and lands like right in front of Yuna, but he still has like a shocked screaming expression on his face. And she passes out. She faints.
Yeah, I would pass
It
out
is
too,
like
right?
it is like someone was talking about it, and I thought they were joking, and I was like, no, that's. So I went and like got the
Yeah.
PDF of the book, and I was like reading it, and I was like, there's no way, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly what happens. It is so dumb.
And that's the end of Titus.
No, because then she
Yes.
she fucking does some dumb shit where she meets a fucking eidolon that has the power to like bring you to life if she dreams hard enough or something. It's so dumb. I hate it.
Man.
Jesus isn't even a real person. He's a dream person. So you know you can do whatever.
Kill off the
He's
main
still,
character with like a.
he's still a person with flesh and blood, though.
Sorry, Jolly. What were you
Yeah,
saying?
he can come back from the dead though, because he's a dream. Also.
Forget it. I was just saying that this novel that people don't want to accept as canon reminds me of how there's this JoJo novel that takes place between Part 7 and Part 8 called the Jorge Joestar, or as people say, Jorge Hostar.
Jorge.
It's like, yes. And there's like all this shit with like alternate reality cars in space and a bunch of other stuff.
What is it? Really stupid?
I don't even read it, so I don't know all the plot. I just know that there's some weird shit in there.
One. It sounds like it'd be my favorite one.
Do people hate it?
A lot of people. I mean, people hate Part 8 too, and I really liked Part 8 up until the end, and then they screwed it. And and I hope Part 9 is a direct sequel, but nobody knows. Iraqi might never make Part 9. But 7 is like the best part in the series.
I was just gonna say the fact that he kicks the bomb and it explodes. That's perfectly set up in Final Fantasy X. Remember when that kid has the soccer ball out and Tidus comes and like kicks it into the forest.
Like oh yeah.
For no reason.
Just to be a dick.
Oh, okay.
He loves kicking.
He just loves kicking. Yeah, I guess you're right, Emily. I guess that's right.
Yeah, maybe that was like foreshadowing of his death.
Came back,
and there's also
he's gonna reap what he sowed.
It's so strange because it's the same guy. It's the guy that wrote the story. I guess like they just gave him too much freedom. There is like fucking
like
two there are 2 chapters that is just like Tidus and Yuna are like surviving the shipwreck, and like, you know, to make it easier for her to swim, she has to take off her clothes, so she's just like in her like underwear. And there's just like 2 chapters of like Tidus's thoughts about like how horny he is seeing her in her underwear all the time. Okay. It is the weirdest book. It sucks so hard. Like it's just dumb.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Character appropriate.
It is character appropriate. I think maybe I just like I was happy in the game to spend less time inside of his brain than in a novel where it's, you know, you can't escape it.
You were happier to hear in the game when he's like looking back on everything that happened. Like, you know, like whenever you're inside Tidus's brain in Final Fantasy X, it's like him from the future, like narrating, like, oh, back then, here's what I was thinking.
Yeah, right.
But if it was like a live stream of consciousness, it would be like, oh, I wonder if there's any soccer balls I could kick. Oh, do you think I'll get to touch Yuna's boobs soon?
Yeah, that's true.
I just want to remind everyone that trannies are attacking gaming once again.
Yeah.
Once again.
Yeah, I mean they always do that.
Well, I mean, I saw. Is it because of that guy's tweet?
Yeah. I guess he attacked first, but
you mean that tweet about the, you know, gaming CEOs with high GPAs versus like the Troon and the
yeah, it was like game devs then, game devs now.
That's true, and it's also not true because the first, there's still an elite group of the first group, whether they be gay or Jewish or whatever, that's manipulating the second group.
Yeah.
So it's not like all of the first group are
there's a lot of AAA boomers.
Or whatever.
I just thought that was funny.
But I agree, the people making contrarian liberal responses to that are far worse.
So if you look at that tweet and you look at the replies, every single angry reply are like from accounts that look like the people on the right.
Yep. Or they're from accounts that like try really, really hard to be normal, but they still have to say he, him in their account. Like that's like another genre. You know, people that are like, all their posts are just about like sports or like cars or like super normal shit, but then they acknowledge that they're leftists.
Well, yeah, it's like a trendy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the kind of people that make a big deal about how, you know, having those opinions is normal, and you're all weirdos, and just be normal.
Wow,
It's another genre out there besides like the people who are like, you know, crazy troons and anime people and whatever.
I didn't learn the blue magic achievement. I thought I had all the blue magic. Oh.
I was thinking about when Gardner was streaming Final Fantasy VII, I wasn't paying that much attention. Like I wasn't watching the streams that much. But
yeah, I could tell by the fan fiction.
I didn't get Ray Bomb. That's it.
I was thinking about the story. I just don't like the message of Final Fantasy VII. It's like too moody. It's too like gloomy. It's like very angsty and like kind of nihilistic a little bit.
It is kind of odd. It is now I think about it. You know, 8 has like the most edgy, angsty, nihilistic character, but the plot is less so. I don't know.
Well, because 7 was written by a guy whose mom died in a car accident, and she was perfectly healthy, and so I mean, like that's what he was trying to view that in the story of 7.
But then that was like, yeah, okay, so he's like a sad boy writing this, but I was like, I don't know. A lot of the Final Fantasy stories are pretty, like the message of the game is pretty simple, where you understand everything through the lens of, like Final Fantasy VII is like, okay, you have this little boy who's like pretty insecure and vulnerable and like sort of bullied, and so he wants to become a soldier when he grows up, and so he does that, but it turns out that's like it's like mutated him to the point where he's not like it's like this weird power fantasy that he's living out, like he's not even a real person anymore. Like that's not. It's basically the message is like that's a delusion that you can become super strong and just solve your problems by beating everybody up because you're going to become a soldier.
Precursor to Undertale, I guess.
I do think Squall is a way fucking better character than Cloud. I don't really like Cloud.
Yeah, but well, Cloud is supposed to be like stupid and shallow because he's like a parody of a.
He's not a real person.
Well, Squall, Cloud doesn't start being a real person till like the fucking very end of the game.
Right.
Yeah, because that's when he breaks down the delusion of the like fake person of Cloud, where he's like he's not actually a soldier, he's not actually a hero.
Yeah.
Or like he's not actually Superman. He's like a human being like everybody else. So that's like, but it's like the whole point of that is.
Well, he is though. He is genetically like altered, and he is physically more capable than them. He just doesn't have he's not like the charismatic hero he thought he was.
No, but that's because that's the okay, because he's genetically altered, so he's like fake. He's like a freak.
Yeah,
he's not real. He's not a real person.
Okay.
Like he wanted to become a hero so badly, and he ended up sort of getting. It's like a weird, ironic wish fulfillment. He becomes a hero, but it's actually, not. It doesn't solve his problems. It leads to disaster or whatever. And
yeah, Cloud doesn't have a personality actually.
Yes.
Like, that's by design.
Xenogears is way out there with the psychology, and it sometimes gets too. It's way more directly Eva inspired. It's very weird.
Yeah, Cloud is like he's like representing the desire to like he's not affected by anything. He's not vulnerable to anything.
His head is in the clouds.
Handle anything. Well, he's like he's a power fantasy. He's like a deconstruction of a JRPG protagonist. He's like, yeah, he's like just he's so strong that he's not affected by anything. He doesn't have any feelings or interests, or he's just like That's why I was thinking about it, because I was comparing him to Squall. I'm like, they're both sort of like a whatever character who says like whatever a lot. But Cloud is more like a fake person that doesn't exist, and Squall's more like he's just sort of coping. He's like quietly coping with being miserable with his life, you know, and like not living a fulfilled life. Cloud is just totally fake, though.
Yeah.
Cloud is like not a real person.
Six, like all the characters are amazing, and the anti-nihilism stuff is awesome. I mean, 7 does that too. 7's not even. You're saying 7's like the moody game. I think 6 had a lot more moody shit.
No, because 7 had all this 7 was like the classic fantasy game.
The cool thing about 6 is there's no real protagonist.
Or sorry,
and it's
6
like
was
it's everyone's story.
Yeah, I was saying 6. I meant to say 6 was it was like the typical fantasy thing of like, oh, there's all this dark stuff, all this nasty stuff is happening, everyone loses hope. But then, the message is,
then they get brave again.
Through love and friendship, everybody can make it through and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then 7 was like a counter signal to that. It was like, well, actually, you're not Superman, and you can't just be the strongest. Like, you have to be a normal person like everybody else. Like, you're just a human. You're not like you're not, growing up, you're not going to grow up to become a soldier and then save everybody. You're going to be like a normal human, and shit's going to happen to you, and you can't control everything. You're not in complete control of everything that happens to you.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, that was the whole message of 7, was like, just like shit happens, and you can't control everything. You can't become all powerful. You have to find a different way to cope.
I feel like that just makes the themes and shit more real than like gloomy. I don't know.
Yeah, it is real, but it's like it's like appropriate for American audiences, because American audiences don't like positive messages. By the time of like 1997, like American audiences wanted like everyone to be a school shooter. Like everything has to be like gloomy and like pessimistic. They won't accept like optimistic stuff anymore.
Oh no, I think 7 is still like really optimistic. I don't know. I guess I have to think about that.
I'm talking about like in stories that are told in media. It's not cool anymore. It's not really accepted anymore to have like a completely like romantic, heroic story.
Oh.
By the time of 1997.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, you have to have Shrek, you have to have stupid crap. Like, all the stories, there are no like heroic romantic stories.
Everything has to be like tragic, yeah.
At that point in America's culture. It's not that it has to be tragic, because tragedy will be okay, but it's like it has to be deconstructing that mythology of heroism and stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So 8 was like 7 was like very gloomy and like edgy and stuff, and then 8 comes out and it's about like
I forgot that the Chocobo quest in 8 ties in with that little handheld thing, and that's why it's kind of like something that has no bearing on your gameplay status.
Yeah, and well, no, in I don't know about the PC version, but I know in the HD version that they added this like little side quest you can do with Scooby, where anything that you would have gained from the stupid little Chocobo thing, you can get in the game through alternate means.
It looks like in this one, whatever version Garden has up, you could just play it on your PC.
Oh, there it is, Chocobo World. Don't you give it a shot, Garden?
What? Yeah. What about Chocobo World?
Chocobo World.
Yeah, what about it?
Don't you play it?
About it.
Click it. It's right there.
What does it do?
It's just a stupid little dumb mini game.
Because there was this little like Tamagotchi Chocobo thing that you could get for the original FF8 that you like.
Yeah, in the PlayStation version, there's extra content. It says Chocobo World, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It was like a little Tamagotchi that
You see that?
Oh man.
What happened? It died.
But you would there was a way that you could connect it through your memory card or something in PS1 version to get extra stuff in 8.
Oh, whatever. To finish my rant, I was saying
Yeah.
the reason that Final Fantasy VII was so popular, it was like, okay, the PS1 has just come out, a bunch of American kids got a PS1, and that was one of the games that they could play on it. It was a really good game.
It had cutscenes.
It had a good story, it had cutscenes, it was something you could talk about with your friends, and all that stuff going for it. But it was also, then when Final Fantasy VIII came out, it was sort of a return to the norm of like optimistic, kind of romantic, like capital R romantic.
Yeah.
As well as, romantic, like typical romantic. Yeah, it's like it was a return to the norm of Final Fantasy games where it was like a optimistic message. People looked at that, like American audiences looked at that game and they're like, oh, why isn't it gloomy? Why isn't it edgy?
Why play the game?
I don't know, it still has some of the edge.
How come I'm not...
9 is where I feel like it got unedgy again.
Why play Chocobo World?
No, because I disagree that 8 doesn't have edgy, like 8 has edginess in it, but then the edginess is like conquered by like unironic romantic sentiment and stuff like that. Like it's like,
true. You don't have like your true love dying halfway through.
Yeah, you have like in Final Fantasy VII, it's like, okay, Cloud is in denial of being, he doesn't want to be like a weak loser, and so he's like, I'm gonna be a soldier, but then he fails, and then like some disastrous shit happens and he ends up being like a weird experiment, and then his memory gets erased, and then he starts believing like, no, I am a soldier.
It's a fight.
I'm a
Get him,
whatever.
Chocobo.
And so he's living this whole delusional, weird, fake life. And so it's like a subversion of being a hero. Like it's being a hero, but
wait, is that supposed to be the dude in the graveyard that has the giant hands?
Maybe.
That juices you?
Yeah, I think maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why you get a bunch of teenage kids that are now angry, and they go to wrestling events holding up big signs that say FF8 sucks.
Yes.
Wait, why do they do that?
Because they played Final Fantasy VII and they were like, oh, it's so gloomy and edgy and nihilistic and like made me feel sad. And then they play Final Fantasy VIII and it's about like you're missing out on life if you're like a weird edgy person who doesn't want to connect with others. And they're like, no, that's gay.
Oh.
See, I have a theory now. Like Finley is now giving me a theory. I want to find out how many people that don't like FF8 if their first Final Fantasy game was 7. Because
oh yeah, that's
I just didn't play 8 because of its like reputation, which I will totally admit I was being like a groupthink goyim. I didn't play, I told you guys here, I didn't actually like buckle down and play 8 until last year, and now it's my favorite Final Fantasy.
I didn't play 8 until after 9. After 1 through 6, after 1 through 6, 9, and an unfinished run of 10.
Wait, did you enjoy? Wait a minute, hold on. I'm doing an autism examination here. Did you play Gunlance in Monster Hunter before you played Final Fantasy VIII? Which came first?
No, I played Gunlance before Final Fantasy VIII. Yeah.
Oh fuck! You're
What's
on
Finley saying about 8?
Secondary assessment.
When the game came out, compared to 7's release.
But I also like, but you know me, I'm like a big Revolver guy though. So.
Finley, you got a question in the chat here from one of our viewers. Get a little telegram here. He says, "What was Finley saying about 8? Like when the game came out, compared to 7's release?"
Oh, I was saying, when
you said it already.
So we were talking about.
Oh, he said it already. Never mind.
He
heard it. He heard it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if anybody's watching the Twitch stream, but I'm manipulating this picture of Larry the Cable Guy for the past like half hour, and it's really funny.
Okay. Well, we were talking about like, if you watch pro wrestling, there's a lot of guys who used to hold up signs that would say like Final Fantasy VIII sucks and stuff like that. So we were saying like why probably the reason people hate Final Fantasy VIII in America in the West is because they played Final Fantasy VII and it was very like edgy and gloomy, and then Final Fantasy VIII was more like a typical. It sort of went back to the norm of Final Fantasy where it's more optimistic and romantic, and so people got turned off by that. With like really they just don't like Final Fantasy. It's not really anything to do with 8 in particular. But anyway.
I mean, if anything, like the romance is way, way, way more heavy-handed in Final Fantasy IV than any of the other ones.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like Final Fantasy IV is very heavy-handed with the Cecil and Rosa stuff.
Dude, I keep fucking listening to the kill guy. It's so funny. I need to figure out how to stream in OBS to Discord. That would help. Oh wait, then you guys might
like
hear
Final
my
Fantasy IV, they literally like, oh, we have kidnapped Rosa and we tied her up, and there's a big iron ball hanging over her head. You have to come save her, and then he saves her, and then right as he pulls her out of the rope chair, the big ball falls, and then they have a big smooch. Like, yeah, that's like people think 8 is like the super romantic heavy, but like 4 is very heavy-handed with that stuff.
I actually forget quite a lot of the plot of 4, except for the very end and like the whole thing where he becomes a paladin.
That's not the end, dude. That's like fucking 3
No,
hours
I
into
said
the
two
game.
different things. Like
Oh,
I
okay.
remember most like when he becomes a paladin, and also the stuff on the moon, and like everything in between. Like there was like the underworld and some dwarves, and there's a lot of other stuff I don't remember. And then there was like the whole plot with Rydia, like going to the place where the summons are.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
like her dad is Leviathan, right?
I mean, no, it's not her dad. They just like were looking after her.
I was thinking, this was like a funny thing when I was playing Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch. I was like really shocked when Mario went to the moon.
Huh.
And I was talking to Powder Cake about it. He was like, I knew they were gonna go to the moon the whole time because
I liked Odyssey a lot. I thought the
about
bosses were kind of disappointing compared to Sunshine, though, or 64.
Yeah.
The rabbit bosses were really boring, and you just kept fighting them over and over. Like the only boss I remember being good was the one where they all 4 of them get into the mech. Like that last stage is really good, like the Bowser Samurai Castle.
Yeah, I just like the. What did I like from that game? I don't know.
I liked exploring and finding the optional moons and like all of New Donk City. That was really fun. I thought New Donk City should have been a hub world instead of just having it be the world you go to like 3rd or 4th and then never see again.
Yeah, I like that game. I just like the normal gameplay. I don't care about the bosses. That's like, why should Mario even? That's the way Mario's always been. It's like
I
nobody
guess,
cares
but
about
I feel like they're memorable bosses in both 64 and Sunshine. I never actually played much of either Galaxy.
Sunshine. What was Sunshine was just like, oh, shoot your tank into the monster's mouth and he inflates, and then you like, you know.
What about no? There's like what? There's a Gooper Blooper. There's the giant wiggler on the beach. There's the fucking manta ray. It's just like a shadow on the ground, and
I hated the manta.
Splitting. Oh yeah.
That was a huge wall for me when I was 7 years old or whatever, you know. And then I came back as an adult, and it was really easy because it's like a baby game. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know. It's not about the bosses, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's about finding the hidden moons and shit, or stars, depending on the game.
I should revisit Galaxy, and I should play Galaxy 2.
Yeah, same. I played like half of Galaxy 1, and I never played 2.
Galaxy 2 is actually a pretty fucking hard game, 200%.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Yeah, I think it would probably be as far as 3D Mario games. I haven't played that much of 64, but I think probably Galaxy 1 and 2 are the best, and then Odyssey, and then Sunshine.
I'm a big Sunshine fan, but I think that's just because it was the first 3D Mario I ever played.
I do have the nostalgia glasses for Sunshine, but I do see why it's not very good.
They also recently made a ROM hack of Sunshine that puts all of Galaxy reference in it, which is interesting.
Okay. That's good. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was saying I was surprised when he went to the moon, and then Power Keg would like give me a big speech about how he knew that Mario was going to go to the moon because there was rabbits in the game and something like that.
Because you're collecting moons.
I think it's just because you're collecting those, I guess, but I think it's just because he was playing Final Fantasy games, and apparently like half of the Final Fantasy games end up with you going to the moon. So
no, there's
4
only
and 8.
What it is.
And 14.
Yeah, that might be true. I've never played 14.
All right, I'm kind of bored manipulating a picture of Larry the Cable Guy. I think I'm gonna turn the stream off.
Are we still? Okay, we're turning the stream off.
Thanks for hanging out. Anybody who's hanging out and analyzing old video games with us. I'll try to think of another old video game to play, I guess. See ya.